I want to make sure y'all are seeing my inclusion through digital accessibility slide. Are we good on that?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Great. So good morning, and welcome to our first session of inclusion through digital accessibility. Thank you again for having us here, and thank you for taking time out of your busy days to learn more about disability inclusion. We really appreciate it. We value your time. We know that y'all are all busy. We're busy over here too, so we just are grateful that you are interested in this topic and interested in learning more about disability inclusion. I'm Anna Taylor. I'm the Business Relations Specialist with the Alabama Department of Rehabilitation Services, and I work with an amazing team of around like 20 folks. I work statewide to help business learn how to include people with disabilities when they are hiring. I also do a lot of training for ADRS. We call ADRS the Alabama Department of Rehab Services. We all have acronyms over here. So we'll refer to ourselves as ADRS quite frequently throughout this presentation, but I have the honor of coordinating services for people with disabilities, helping them connect to employers, and also I have the honor of coordinating services for our military and veteran population. So today's going to be a lot of fun. We don't want this training to be boring by any means. We want y'all to have a good time. We want this to be as interactive as possible. So a couple of housekeeping things. Y'all will see that Luann has a link for her captioning. Stephanie Johnson just dropped that in the chat. Y'all feel free to drop us a chat anytime you have a question about something that we're going over. So we want you to sit back and enjoy. Let me go to the Disability 101 here. So here's what we're going to cover today. We are jam-packed. You're going to learn all things disability today. By the end of our training, you're going to walk away, hopefully more informed about best practices when working with people with disabilities and how to be, more inclusive in your everyday work activities. All right, and here is our agenda for today. June 22nd. Can't believe it's June 22nd already, y'all. It's almost the 4th of July. Pretty crazy. But again, like I said, we're jam-packed. We're starting off where we're going to learn about ADRS, about us, and the Alabama Department of Rehab Services. Then we're going to learn about disability etiquette. We're going to have a virtual disability simulation. So y'all, that's going to be pretty cool. Y'all are really going to enjoy that. And for those of you that interview, I don't know how many people on here interview, but we have a short training from Microsoft. And Microsoft tells us best on how to include people with disabilities so that you can, when you're interviewing them, you kind of know some best practices. After that, we're going to take some questions. And so y'all save your questions. We will come on, we can turn our cameras on and have a conversation. It won't be like we're in person, but we'll do the best we can. And so the last time we trained, there was lots of great questions. So y'all don't hold back on us. And trust me, there's nothing you can ask us that we probably haven't heard already or answered. So nothing's weird, nothing's off the table. So certainly don't hold back on your questions. And my favorite part is lunch. We're going to take a lunch from 11:45 to 1. So we got a little bit longer lunch there. And then we're going to come back and learn about how to make Microsoft Office accessible. We will then wrap up at 2:30. So I mentioned the chat feature. Stephanie Johnston is the host. Y'all can directly message her, or if you want everybody, if you're brave and you want to put your question in the main chat, certainly feel free to do that. So let's begin. Our mission at the Alabama Department of Rehabilitation Services is to enable Alabama's children and adults with disabilities to achieve their maximum potential. Y'all, I love our mission. I think it's a great mission. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to work here and serve and work towards that mission every day. So many of y'all may have heard about ADRS, or one of us over here, and that we help people with disabilities, but a lot of you guys may not know all of the different departments that we have. From left to right, here we've got an umbrella, and we've got early intervention services, where we support infants and toddlers from birth all the way to age 21. And then next to EI in the umbrella is Children's Rehab Service. Well, Children's Rehab Service does a lot, y'all. I mean, they're pretty fantastic, just like early intervention. When a baby that has a disability, you know, we get them in early intervention, but children that have disabilities, we serve them and we help their families too with special health care needs all the way from birth to age 21 as well. We also have an independent living side of our agency where we serve the most significant disabilities, and we work with them in the home and we help them with their independence. And my division is Voc Rehab, where we do all kinds of cool stuff, which y'all are going to hear about in a second. But our main goal is to help individuals with disabilities achieve their maximum potential through employment or through education. So y'all should be seeing my umbrella move real quick. There it goes. All right, yay. So I'm part of Voc Rehab, which is ReadiNet and Disability Resources for Employers. And our role here is to advance inclusion in Alabama. So next, you're going to see our map here. And for those of y'all that are in the regions, if y'all don't mind, just drop us a chat. Let us know what region you're in. If you're part of the Department of Commerce or if you're labor, let's see how many regions we've got in here. I'll give y'all a second to do that. Region 5, okay. Region 3 in the house. AIDT, okay, 7, 1, 6, okay. So AIDT is the whole kit and caboodle, 7, good. A lot of AIDT folks in here, okay. Good, good. All right. Okay, great. So from the top to bottom here, we've got our whole state represented here with people all in your region. So I'm going to give you a copy of this map. Matt's going to send it out after the training so you guys can call part of my team that's in your local area and get to know them. They do trainings in their area. They help us with our mission. They're out there talking to business and all of that. So wanted to make sure y'all saw that. I know it's kind of hard to see. Okay, we've got an RWC liaison R7. Wow, that's a fancy one right there. Loving it. Okay, great. So y'all get to know our team, and those are the business relations specialists that work with us here. All right. So let's talk disability. How many of you guys know someone with a disability? And y'all can come off mute really quick and let me know what disability it is that you guys are familiar with. So think of a disability and like give us a shout.
A hearing deficiency.
Okay. Hearing loss. Is that someone deaf, or is that somebody that can't hear at all? Or has hearing loss?
Fairly significant impairment, but they're able to hear with hearing aids.
Okay, great. They've got hearing aids. Anybody else?
Got a friend with spina bifida.
Okay, all right, gotcha. How does that impact them?
It's a lot of mobility issues. They're in a wheelchair, but they've done really well. They've managed to get a degree from AUM as a social worker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Does anybody else know someone with a disability you want to share? Y'all don't be shy. I know y'all aren't shy over there, but yeah, we're going to be talking about disability a lot. So give us a shout out. What are y'all familiar with?
Visual impairment.
Okay. Are they almost blind, or?
They are legally blind. They can see just a tad.
They can see just a tad. Okay, gotcha. All right. Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, you have a friend in a wheelchair, not sure what his, causes disability, but he is in a wheelchair.
Okay, gotcha. So as y'all see in the slide here, over 1 billion people, or 15% of the world's population lives with a disability. And honestly, people with disabilities represent the largest and the most diverse group in the world. So when you think of disability, I'm gonna show you, there's a picture of a world here, and we're thinking about globally, but a lot of people, when you drill down to it, there's a picture of a person here that shows in the circulatory system here. And just going from head to toe, when we talk about disability, some of y'all may not, realize that some of these are considered a disability, such as diabetes. Obviously, someone that's had like cardiovascular issues and they've had a heart attack, memory loss, blindness. Y'all can see amputation, chronic pain. How many of y'all know someone with chronic pain out there, huh? Hopefully y'all are all sitting at a good angle today and we don't have any chronic pain in the house viewing this, but there's a lot of people with arthritis as we get older. A lot of folks have had a traumatic brain injury, whether it was from an accident or someone coming back from Iraq, you know, and they have traumatic brain injury and issues from that. Alcoholism and substance abuse, depression, anxiety, and orthopedic differences, cerebral palsy, carpal tunnel, and issues with your back, knees, feet, wrists, okay? All right, great. So, Voc Rehab, just talking a little bit about how you can qualify for our services. As you can see from the slide here, we are an eligibility-based program, okay? And those are the services that we provide. You see we have assessments, counseling and guidance, job development and all that. And in this picture here, you see one of our counselors handing a flyer out to a gentleman who is at AUM, and he was going through some job readiness training. And there's one of our interns there to the left, and we are always trying to get our people ready for work. So what we do over here, we're preparing our workforce for employment, and we are connected to a national employment team. So one of the cool things about my role over here and about our team over here, the business relations team, is that we are connected to all 50 states with our partners in other states at the agencies there. So we have this really cool national employment team we call the NET. And when we have big employers, for instance, we're working with FBI, they're obviously in multiple states, Home Depot, they're in multiple states. So we connect to our folks in Florida, Mississippi, Michigan, California, whenever we're working on big projects. And it's a lot of fun to be able to collaborate on best practices with them. So this is a pretty busy slide. It's a snapshot of our workforce currently that's in our system right now. So the very small little active participants there, if y'all can see that, there's 17,216 people that we are helping right now. And it surprised me when I saw this data, y'all, but 64% of those folks are youth age 16 to 24. And 36% of them are 25 years or older. And when you think disability, a lot of people think it's physical, but as y'all can see here, y'all learn about neurodiversity in just a little bit, but 68% of those individuals that are in our system have a neurodiversity. 14% have a physical disability, and 18% have a sensory disability, such as like hearing loss or deafness. And I thought it was pretty cool how we broke down their top career interests. So one of the top ones is healthcare. Then we've got hospitality, manufacturing, you know, skilled trades like plumbers and maintenance, food prep, and then office administration. Here are the education levels of our participants. Now, this sample was from 2019. It's a little bit older than that last number. So we took a sample of about 2,222 folks and broke them down into our categories here. And as you can see from the wheel, we've got 43% of them have a bachelor's degree, 25% have an associate's degree, and 9% have a master's degree.
That's crazy.
So, does anyone have any questions so far? Feel free to drop them in the chat. All right, so this is how we help business. We help people with disabilities, and we call them consumers, but we help business, and these are some of the categories that we work with business on. So our goal is to promote diversity in the workplace by helping business recruit and retain qualified people with disabilities. And I'll underscore the word qualified because we want to make sure business has what they need for their jobs and that those people are qualified for the position. We sponsor lots of education and training. Y'all are part of that right now. And we foster partnerships all over. And we work with federal contractors on their good faith effort whenever they're doing business with the federal government. There's lots and lots of rules there. And so we help them meet their diversity and inclusion goals there. So those of you that have a spouse or relative or someone at church, you know, that hires people, let them know about us. We would love for you guys to share that it's so hard to find people right now. And we have candidates for jobs. And it's a very, very simple way to recruit from us. So I'm going to walk you through that really quick here. We've got a picture of steps 1 through 4. The first thing is we want to find out what that need is from the employer. We want to start creating a referral pipeline and alert our folks about jobs that company has available. We're going to pre-screen our referrals for that employer, which is great. So, you know, you have somebody on our team from that map I showed you earlier that is going to look at the qualifications of the job and match the candidate to the position and make sure it's a good referral and provide you all the supports along the way that you're going to need. And then we're going to refer that person out. So this is a really busy slide, but I'm gonna let y'all take that in for a second and kind of check it out. We've got 6 main headings there: recruiting and hiring, technical assistance, ideas on accessibility, inclusion training, and job retention. One thing I want to point out is that over the past 5 years, my division has identified more than 18,000 jobs, which is a lot, y'all, for a small team. And we pre-screened 6,800 folks for hire. So I think that's pretty amazing. We are constantly matching people up all the time. So from left to right here, we help business with recruiting and hiring out for lots of financial incentives. Some of y'all know about some of those incentives. Some of you guys might be hearing about that for the first time, but you can see there we have pre-hire work experience incentives, work-based learning, apprenticeships, on-the-job training. We were just hanging out with apprenticeship folks yesterday, talking about what they do, learning about what we do, and sharing and collaborating. And we have tax incentives that we offer employers. And then we provide technical assistance to employers. We guide them when they're managing disability that happens in their workplace and serve as like a technical expert and help them walk through the ADA and make sure that they, you know, do what they need to do to accommodate individuals with disabilities. We work with a really great group of engineers that helps people figure out how to make modifications in the workplace and provide accommodations. And of course, y'all know about our training. That's what we're doing today. But lastly, we help business keep employees. Like, for instance, somebody that might have had coronavirus, we help that business keep somebody that has been impacted by coronavirus or another illness, injury, or disability. We call that program RAVE. It's a cool name for a program, and it's called Retaining a Valued Employee. And since there's a lot of things going on in our world with the pandemic and everything, we've seen a rise in, trying to make sure that people retain their jobs that they have, because they may not be able to perform it like they used to. They could have had something happen and their life has changed. And so we come in and we help that employer accommodate them. So in the past 5 years, we have retained 451 folks. And since 2016, we have supported 350 active duty military and National Guard with retaining their employment as well. So here's an example. I'm going to show you a couple pictures before we get finished here. We're almost done. About how we help employers retain their people. So this guy right here had a severe back injury, and he's a veteran. He did deploy. And he needed to alternate his workstation from sitting to standing. And as y'all can see right there on the left side, he is using an ergonomic workstation with an ergonomic mat, an ergonomic keyboard. He's got his monitors hooked up on the side, and he is changing from standing to sitting. He also, this picture right next to him there, he is putting in a hearing aid. He gave presentations all of the time. and he had to hear what people were saying whenever they were talking. If he was unable to hear them, it was going to be really hard for him to perform those job duties. And so that was a barrier for him. And we were able to give him an accommodation. It's a small little hearing aid, and it really changed his ability to present. He could send and receive information clearly. He was able to not miss any cues and all of that. So that was something that really helped him out. And I had to, we can't be in the South and it's not throwing a picture of a tractor here. So this is like such a cool accommodation, y'all. The guy right there that's smiling really big lost his leg, and he's a farmer. And, you know, he wasn't going to be able to use his tractor anymore, obviously, because he had to have both legs, or so he thought. But you can see his rehab counselor right behind him smiling as well, because we came in and modified his tractor for him so that he could still work. We just simply put in hand controls. And he drove that tractor around and has no problem still farming with one leg. It's not an issue at all. So how cool is that? Drop us a heart emoji or like an emoticon or something if y'all like that accommodation. Like I was telling y'all earlier, it's an honor and privilege to be able to do our job. And how cool is it that we get to work out, you know, nifty accommodations like that. And I bet y'all didn't think I'd show you a picture of a toilet, but here we go. We got another guy here who did maintenance at a hospital. He had difficulty reaching above his head.
I don't know what that means, but see, there's a little moon next to your name.
Uh-oh. We need to go on mute there, staff. He had difficulty reaching above his head and climbing and all of that. And so that yellow cart behind him, he could actually get on it and lay down and work above his head without having to strain his neck, which, you know, in most cases, it seems like a simple solution, but for him, that was absolutely, it saved his job. I don't know if any of y'all have ever tried to lift up a toilet, but they are super heavy. And with his back injury, he could not continue, you know, moving toilets in and out when things needed to get fixed. And so there is a really cool tool called a toilet cart. And, you know, it lifts up the toilet for you. So he didn't have to strain himself. And then lastly, we had a hydraulic lift. So whenever he was fixing parts, he could, you know, get them on the lift really easy. So job saved. All right. So our workforce partners. Here is a little quick snapshot of some of the employers we work with. You know, obviously this isn't all inclusive, but we work with Lockheed Martin, the Air Force, Lowe's, NASA, National Guard, UAB Medicine. So we work with a lot of different employers. We wanted to kind of let you guys know that we're out there constantly putting people to work and connecting to employers. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what that looks like. And lastly, this is a really cool picture here. I've got a, you know, all of our workforce partners are in this picture. We've got our chamber in there. We've got Fort Benning in there, Maxwell Air Force Base. We've got the tag of the National Guard in there. And it was an honor and privilege to be able to partner over at Hyundai and collaborate. So one of the main things we do over here is collaborate. And we certainly enjoy that. So we are looking forward to collaborating with you. And we will be back. Well, we're actually going to move on to the next slide, but I will be back after Bobby and Cassie are finished with their presentation, which is so cool. And we will be talking a little bit more about inclusive interviewing. So everybody still with us? Y'all drop us an emoji really quick. Are we there?